Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls right around the world, welcome to the tennis world of the tennis expert. I am your tennis expert. I'm ready to explain the US Open semi-finals. I'll preview them. I'll let you know what's going to happen. I'll go over a couple of the quarterfinals quickly. But this is your US Open 2023 semi-final preview, guys. So, firstly, I just want to look at for a minute a couple of the quarterfinals. Djokovic Fritz. So Djokovic was clearly affected by the heat. He was bending down. The last thing he would have liked is to get in any long rallies or make it physical in any kind of a way. What Fritz did, he just went for it and shortened the points and missed mostly. And the fact that the points were so short, so little energy was required in these points, right? But yet he hit one more error than winner and he was still bending down. What I'm saying is, if the points were longer than this, he would have had way more than one more error than winner. He would have been maybe 10, 15, 20 more errors than winners, and the heat would have affected him way more. But the fact that he hardly had to expend any energy, and he was already bending down and already hitting one more error than winner, um, you get what I'm trying to say? If the points were longer, it would have been 10 more errors and wins, 20, something like that. But the fact that he was so affected on short points. And then Fritz, if he went for the rally game, he would have had less errors. So Djokovic would have been like 10, 20 more errors and winners. Fritz would have been like few errors because he's playing it safe. And Djokovic would have been tired, more affected by the heat. Instead, what Fritz said, you're going to be affected by the heat regardless, but I'm going to make the points as short as possible for you. So therefore, at least you can be okay and get almost as many winners and errors and not be terrible and find a way to fight through it. Then, even then, because you're still going to be affected by the heat, you're going to have one more error than winner. But when I'm going to be going for it and shortening the points for you and making you feel less hot and less physically depleted, I'm also going to not only shorten the points, I'm going to hit a whole lot of errors. So you won't be at your best even in the short points, which is the easiest can be. So you'll hit one more error than winner. And I'm going to shorten the points to make you feel the best so you can get to that point. But then I'm going to play even worse than you because I'm going for it. I'm going to miss most of my shots and I'm going to hit 17 more errors than winners. So you'll hit one more winner than error and not feeling the best, but you'll feel as good as you could with the heat because they'll be short points. But I'm going to be much worse than that because when I go for it, I'm going to miss. And 17 more errors than winners, and you win in straight sets. You'll hardly put any effort. Even in the short points, you won't be at your best, but it'll be more than enough. And you win in straight sets. So basically, that's what happened there. The other one, Alcaraz versus Zverev. Zverev, I mean, he was a bit. I mean, Alcaraz again. Same with Djokovic, he maybe more errors than winners, like five more errors than winners, I would say. Yeah, something like that. But the thing is, Zverev was even worse, and with the errors not quite playing well. But Alcaraz made sure at all the big points he was playing his best. He stepped it up at the right moment. He took it from him, and he just did enough to win. The moments he weren't playing well, he made sure they weren't important moments. They didn't affect him much. But when it was needed, he just stepped up and played great tennis, but didn't do it enough to have an amazing game, but did it enough just to step up in those big moments to get the win here. So Alcaraz in straight sets. Now let's get into our semi-final preview, US Open 2023. The first semi-final that's in the schedule should be Shelton Djokovic. Now the same type of thing with Fritz, right? Where you're depending on your serve, and Djokovic returns the serve back and takes away your big weapon. And firstly, the big servers they want a free point where it doesn't come back. The second best is they want at least a short ball that they can finish it off the next shot with a big forehand or power shot, right? Djokovic doesn't just get it back into play, gets it deep. So now you firstly there's no free point or no short ball to finish off. So you're stuck in a long rally and you've got no advantage out of the serve. You have to win long rallies just to hold serve. And Shelton isn't as good a rallier as Djokovic. So what happens is either Djokovic out-rallies him, beat him to consistency defense, moves him around, exposes his lack of defense and movement, and just out-rallies him. Or Shelton says, I don't want that. I'm going to have to hit through you with power. But there's no short balls because the balls are coming back deep on the return. So on a shot that's not really there, not a short ball, deep ball, you need to try to hit the ball through this slow court and through Djokovic's defense, right? So you're going to make errors, right? And then when you try to pull it back to not make the errors, Djokovic getting in the long rally, moving him around, out rallying him. Typically, these big guys, big servers who can't move and can't rally, Djokovic just takes their weapon away, forces them to rallies, out rallies them, and generally they just have to go for a lot of power near the line to shorten the points. Like Fritz, they miss. They hit like 17 more errors and winners. Fritz is even better than this guy Shelton, so it probably could be even a worse situation. And all these power guys who say, I'm going to just hit it as hard as I can, go for the lines and blow Djokovic off the court with power. I've never seen that work. This is the perfect style that Djokovic likes to play, this style of player. And not only the style, but obviously this guy's not even seeded. But I'm saying even if you are seeded, you're good at this style. Djokovic loves his style. So it's a bad matchup. But then when you're playing this style and you're not even seeded, you're not being there, he's going to be nervous, he's going to be edgy, he's going to make a whole bunch of errors. And Djokovic is going to take his biggest weapon, his serve, force him to rally in his service game, out rally him, but also get a ton of errors. And Djokovic just does great against these big hitting power guys who have power and a serve but can't be in a rally and don't have any speed. And they just end up making a whole bunch of errors. And when they're not, they have to rally on their own service game and they're out rallied. So Djokovic in straight sets, as simple as that. Second semi-final, Alcaraz, Medvedev. They both like to rally, I would say, but Alcaraz is more of an aggressive rally. So he's got more power on his shots. So he's going to be controlling all the points, bossing Medvedev around in the rallies. Medvedev is always on the run. Alcaraz has the ability to hit through his defense with power and finish the points. And then even if he can't get through even if Alcaraz can't get through Medvedev's defense, he can take advantage that Medvedev stands so far back. He drop shots, Medvedev's too deep. He can't get in and get to the drop shots. He can come in and volley and hit drop volleys. Again, Medvedev's too far back. He can expose his standing far back. But also this thing about Medvedev saying, I don't have a lot of power, but I'm not going to miss. And I'm going to run everything down. You can't get by me. Alcaraz can get by him. Just with power alone, can get by him, can finish the points, and can say, okay, you're not going to miss anything and give me any errors. And when I try to finish the point, you're fast. You're saying, I can't get by you. Alcaraz can get by him. So Alcaraz is going to, in these rallies, they're going to be both rallying. Alcaraz will have more power in his rally shot. You control all the rallies, stand in the middle, overpower Medvedev. Medvedev will always be running. Alcaraz will always be controlling the rally. And then once he gets into control, like I said, most players can't get through Medvedev to finish the point. He has the power to hit through Medvedev's defense and just with power alone, get through this slow court, get through Medvedev's defense, and finish the rally off with power and hit winners and overpower Medvedev by controlling the rally, moving him around, overpowering him in the rally, and then having the power to finish through Medvedev's speed and defense, to hit winners through Medvedev's speed and defense and finish off points. But even if he couldn't do that, or even if he wants to do this in addition, like I said, he can come into the net, hit drop volleys, and while Medvedev's standing so far back to be ready for Alcaraz's power, the drop volley lands short, and Medvedev's so far back behind the baseline, he can't get into these drop volleys, or even from the back of the court. He can hit drop shots. Alcaraz is the best in the game with drop shots. Medvedev's so far back, he can't run in and get into these drop shots because one, Alcaraz's drop shots are near perfect. Second, Medvedev's so far back, he's too far back to run and actually get into the drop shots. So Alcaraz just hits drop shots all day, perfect drop shots, and exposes Medvedev so far back, and then the perfect drop shots with Medvedev so far back, he can't get to the balls. Drop volleys again, they're landing short. Medvedev's too far back, he can't get into them. And then, like I said, Alcaraz rallying like Medvedev, more power, controlling the rallies, and having the power to get through Medvedev's defense and finish points. So whether it's power that he can get through Medvedev's speed and defense, whether it's exposing Medvedev standing back with the drop volleys, drop shots, he can finish points. Medvedev doesn't have a lot of power through this court to stop Alcaraz controlling all the rallies. He doesn't have enough power to get through this slow court to rush Alcaraz on his forehand, and he doesn't have enough power on this slow court to control the rallies and stop Alcaraz controlling them. And he doesn't have enough power to get through this slow court and get past Alcaraz's speed, because Alcaraz himself is so fast, probably even faster than Medvedev. So to hit through a slow court against a fast defender, you need big power, big weapons. Medvedev doesn't have that. The court's too slow, Alcaraz is too fast. You need a lot of power to get past him. Medvedev doesn't have that power to get through this slow court and get past Alcaraz's speed and defense to finish points. Whereas Alcaraz, to get through this slow court, and Medvedev is exceptionally fast, he does have the power to get through this slow court and Medvedev's speed to finish points. But he also has the ability to do it through going to the net, drop volleys while Medvedev's too far back, or drop shots while Medvedev's too far back. Or power, when Medvedev doesn't have the drop shots, doesn't have the volleys, and doesn't have the power to get through the court and finish points and get through Alcaraz's speed, while Alcaraz does. And because Alcaraz's got more power on his shot, he's just controlling all the rallies, and Medvedev doesn't really have an answer. So it's going to be 3 or 4 sets, but I think Medvedev's playing better. We saw like some on and off play for Alcaraz against the Reds, so I'm going to give Medvedev a set where he just out rallies, he's a bit more aggressive. Maybe Alcaraz makes too many errors. Give him a set, but it could very easily be straight sets. But I'll say 3 or 4 sets for Alcaraz over Medvedev. Djokovic is going to take down Shelton in straight sets. And we'll be again left with a Djokovic-Alcaraz final. So that's what I'm predicting. 3 or 4 sets, depending on if Alcaraz is a bit off and Medvedev keeps playing his best level. Could be a 4 set, but 3 or 4 sets there. Straight sets, Djokovic over Shelton. Alcaraz, Djokovic will meet in the 2023 US Open final. Be back in a couple of days, Friday, Saturday, depending where you are in the world. I'll preview the 2023 US Open final, which should be Novak Djokovic of Serbia, Carlos Alcaraz of Spain. Be back in Friday, Saturday, about a day or so from now, and I'll preview that US Open final, and I'll be doing it as soon as these semi-finals end. But I'm saying that match will be Djokovic-Alcaraz, and I'll be able to watch how they played in this semi-final, see how they're going, give you more information after seeing exactly how they played in that last match going into the final, and I'll preview that Alcaraz-Djokovic final. So come on, Friday, Saturday, be back for that. For my US Open final preview 2023, subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up, and please be back for my US Open final preview as soon as the semi-finals ends. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being with me. Yeah, guys, thanks for being with me. Be back for my US Open final preview a day or two, Friday, Saturday, and subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. See you in a bit over 24 hours for my US Open final preview. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. Thanks for being with me. Bye for now, guys. Subscribe, and see you guys for my US Open final preview. Bye for now.